I'm your host, Lo, and this is Mic Drop Sun Drip, the show where we drop truth and speak light into you. This is the show for those ready to awaken to their full power, live from love, bask in golden divine light, embody abundance and divine wealth. Drop into your heart and feel it all in your body. You can watch on YouTube or listen on all podcast platforms. Here we go. Oh, and one more thing. You have a spark of the divine in you. Act accordingly. Hello, hello. Welcome to Mic Drop Sun Drip, the show where we drop truth and speak light into you, I always want to move my head when we do that. And I hope you're loving these episodes so far and loving the energy I am. And I can feel the potency of it, and I can feel the shifts for everyone who's watching. And so I just want to say it is truly an honor to be creating this space with and for you. Today is all about power source and being our own power source and sourcing from ourselves and seeing ourselves as our own sun. You are the sun in your life. You are the sun. Take that in, take that in, take that in. We need everybody to step into the spotlight and however that looks in their life. We need everyone to show themselves, to step out of the shadows, to step into the light, and to shine bright. Shine bright. How does one do that? One sources from within oneself, from the divine source, God, and from the beautiful energy that is the sun. This is going to be a space where you're constantly challenged in your beliefs. You're constantly challenged in why you don't show yourself to the world or to those around you. In whatever spaces you're in, this topic is so much about the masks we wear. And we wear those masks simply because we don't see ourselves as our own source of power. We're looking at sources of power outside of us, and we're assuming that that is going to be able to power us up. But that is not how it works. That is not how it works. And so much of the energy in your life has everything to do with your energy with yourself, your energy that you're putting out every day, the way you're directing your energy. The sun is our greatest source of energy, of power. The sun runs this planet. So does the moon. But we're talking about the sun today. And so when we talk about the sun, everything shows under the sun. Everything can be seen fully. How are you showing up fully to be seen every day in your life? And if you feel that there are parts of you that are really wanting to be seen right now, you might say to yourself, how do I push past the block to let them be seen? And the answer is first calling all of your energy back into you. So even before we started recording, I did that. I called all of my energy back to me. Just simply say, I call all of my soul back to me. I call all of my soul fragments back to me. I call all of my energy back to me. And just sit and breathe. You will actually feel the energy coming back to you. You know, as we move around the world, we have conversations, we talk, we walk, our energy is spreading everywhere. And that's what can lead to us sometimes feeling depleted. So just that simple act in any given moment every day of calling your energy back to you, and it's like you're commanding it to come back to you. You will feel different. You will feel powered up. Everything comes back to our energy and how powered up our energy is or how depleted our energy is. And that's what leads to what we actually create and execute in the physical world. And so this is an energy game here. It's all energy. And it's all about how we're choosing to direct it, how we're choosing to build it back up, how we're choosing to clear it and protect it. And when we do feel depleted, to actually sit with that and to rest and to not expect that our energy always just gets powered up because we want it to. We have to listen and feel the natural flow of our energy source, right? But as we start to power up our own energy from our own internal sun, we won't feel as depleted because we're not getting depleted from sources outside of us anymore. And so first, I want you to feel, just close your eyes and feel into your core. So we call that the solar plexus, your stomach area, your gut. Feel into that. That is where your inner sun lives, right below your heart, right above your creative center. And so in order to create, that part of you has to be lit up, quite literally, like the sun. And so the reason you might feel sad or depleted or low energy is because you're not lit up from within. And the only question to ask yourself is, why? So if I'm not lit up from within, if my inner sun is dimmed down or turned off, what is doing that every day? What or who is creating that? How am I creating that? Learning to source from within is one of the hardest lessons of this plane. Why? Well, because we have all these senses that can see all these things outside of us that seem outside of us, right? And we're looking and taught to those things to power us up. So to go within and power ourselves up seems so out of whack. Like it seems opposite of what feels normal. And so we're relearning this in many ways. We're relearning to start there every time, to not source from external sources until we have fully sourced from within. Because of course we're working with external sources. Of course we have co-creators and partners and lovers and friends and kids and businesses. The business itself is an entity that we're working with. But everything starts first from a simple practice every day or at any time you need it throughout the day to choose to turn on your inner sun, turn on the light. How to do that? Just do what I just did. We overthink a lot of this. Everyone thinks there's some magical ritual. No, it's just literally talking to yourself and feeling crazy and saying, I turn my inner sun on. Flip the switch. Let's go. You will feel a difference. You will feel it because energy is always moving. It just depends on where we're moving it. Now, I want to talk about the hurdles we have to overcome to feel good about sourcing from within. So this has everything to do with inner power, inner strength, inner resilience, and sovereignty. What does that mean? Well, it means that you are self-sourcing from your own energy, emotions, feelings, desires, from your heart, from your mind, from your body. And you're using the energy from all those internal sources within you to create. You're a creator being. You're here to create. You're not here to mimic. You're not here to recreate. You're here to create from you internally. Now, what I see in the culture and in the collective right now is a lot of mimicking energy. People are recreating what other people did, and then they're doing the same thing, and it's a spiral. And it feels like there's all this content, but there's not a whole lot of substance. That's because people are not sourcing from within to see what uniquely can come from their internal energy sources when they are plugged into them and create from there. This is how those that end up standing out and breaking through the clutter, so to speak, this is how they do it. Because for whatever reason or whatever led them there, they started to source from their internal power sources. Notice I said plural, there isn't just one. And they started to bring all those together, mix them all up, and create from there. And they birthed a very unique thing. They birthed their unique voice that only they have. They birthed their unique perspective that only they have, that came from a very deprogrammed, true version of them. And it touched people's hearts. Everything that has substance in our culture touches people's hearts. I promise you that. It's not touching their minds. It's touching their hearts. Everything comes back to what we are emotionally connected to. Nothing stands the test of time in our life unless we have an emotional connection to it. So emotions come from the energy moving within us and around us and our response to that energy, internally and externally. Emotion is what creates the greatest works of art in the world. Emotion is what creates the greatest shit in the world. It's just what it is. Now, I want you to ask yourself the cost you are paying right now for what you are not feeling. There is a cost. I want you to ask yourself the cost you are paying right now by not sourcing from within, from your own internal sun. I want you to ask yourself right now the cost you are paying for not shining. It's a big cost. Ask yourself what you're trading for that. Comfort, falling in line, fitting in. Does anyone really fit in, by the way? Side note, no. And it may seem like some people just have it and they can stand out because they have it. You might be looking at me thinking that. The struggle is real for me and for everyone in this part of life. But this is really all of life. Because this is so good. This is such an important topic. I cannot stress enough. Because when you start to choose to source from your own internal energy, you will relate so differently to everything outside of you. You will relate to everything and everyone in such a healthy way because you're not expecting these things outside of you or people outside of you to fill you up. They just add, they amplify how you already feel. Don't we all want to wake up and just feel really good as we are in who we are without first anything else? Right? The soul is unafraid. We've talked about that. But the soul is built to be on its own. That's the word. The soul is built to be on its own. Now, we're here to be with other people, so don't start to be like, oh, it's just that. There's many things that are true at the same time. We talk about this all the time. But our soul comes into this world on its own and it leaves on its own. Have you noticed? So everything in between that is what we're experiencing with other people and with other things and places and the earth itself. Great. We all understand that. But so much of this path has everything to do with connecting into our soul first and then working with our soul's energy to power everything we're then doing outside of us. And that is not unnatural to us. We just unlearn that. And now relearning it, you'll feel it being very natural. Once you get into like doing a practice every day where you're sourcing from within and you're calling your energy back to you and you're feeling the energy pulsing through your body. This is the goal. The goal is to feel that first and then create from that space and then do from that space, talk from that space, relate from that space. So we're going to get into relationships with this because people struggle in relationships mostly because they have not discovered how to source from their own internal power and emotions and feelings and energy first. And so they are either unconsciously or consciously expecting the other person to give them everything they need, to give them all their energy, they're sourcing from the other person. If we're talking about a two-person dynamic, but even in group dynamics, people are doing this. It's like they only feel lit up when they're in a social situation or with a romantic partner or one-on-one with a friend. That is not the true original nature of our being. That is called codependency, trauma bonding, and what we are doing when we do that is we're avoiding looking right here. Right here. We're avoiding looking within. We're avoiding feeling what's within us. Anything to avoid that. So it's easier for years. For me, it was easier to talk to listen to other people and have them talk about themselves. The second the subject got on me for too long, I was like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. My inner world's too complex for these people. No way. And so notice where you are only feeling good when you're around somebody else. If you cannot feel good when you are with yourself, this is the work right here. Because even if you end up being with your beloved in this lifetime, your divine counterpart, you find that perfect match that is for you, your other half, call it whatever, even then, this reigns supreme because they still have their own experience in that body and they still have to navigate their own energy. We're in these individual bodies for a reason. We all have an individual energetic blueprint designed for us, coded with our unique soul's frequency and gifts and energy. That's why we all look different. Our soul's different, right? Even twin flames, you're the same soul, but you can express differently because the soul is vast. The soul is vast. Can you tune into the vast internal endless energy that is within you? Just feel how the energy within you is endless if you tap into it. But if you try to source, you'll notice as you source from external people, beings, places, environments, things, you feel an end point because you can't access someone else's energy for that long. You can't source from an external energy source apart from yours for that long. It's all short term. And so you hit a wall. And that's why we get addicted to wanting to be around other people or be in those environments because we feel the limit there. But the limit to sourcing from within yourself is endless. And that is the work because that's how we get to know ourselves. We get to know the complexities that we have internally. We get to know our talents, our gifts. You are far more gifted in this moment than you even realize. You have gifts that you have not even consciously discovered yet. I pray you discover all of them in this lifetime in that body. I pray you have the courage to discover who you really are and choose to embody that publicly in this lifetime. But not everyone will. Not everyone chooses that. Why? Because we think we will not belong and we think we will not be loved as we truly are. And once you start sourcing from your own internal energy, you will start to see how other people that may have been sourcing from you and your energy fall away. Because you have called all your energy back to you. You are more sovereign and you are not just giving away your energy to just anybody and letting people siphon off of you. Their work is to go source from within and find their own energy internally. That felt so good to say. A lot of us understand that experience where people siphon our energy and they feel good around us, then they leave and we feel depleted. That's the red flag. That's the red flag. And if you feel depleted after leaving people, you're siphoning their energy. This comes back to the bigger shift happening on the planet right now, which is that we're all learning how to relate very differently to each other, how to relate from a really healthy place where true love exists. True love only exists in the space where both people can be sovereignly who they are and be loved as they are, not by just sourcing from each other. Now, I want to challenge y'all to hold the complexity of this, because of course we're sourcing from our people. Of course we are. There is a cord that gets created energetically between you and another, and energy gets fed back and forth between you. This is especially potent in romantic relationships, but of course friendship, of course creative collaborations, family, parent, child, all that. There's cords of energy flowing back and forth between you. So of course you're sourcing. Of course you deserve to have support. Of course you can depend on other people. Of course you get to do that. Of course that's part of love. Love is vast. We think love is one thing. Love is all things, right? But this is about you first being your own sun, first shining bright. This is you, spotlight, right? Sourcing from within, honoring your energy, calling back your energy, and working with your energy. Might I remind you again, this is an energy game on Earth. In this body, it's all energy moving. Oh, I had an emotional spiral because I'm dehydrated. It's not always like connected to our childhood. Sometimes it's the physical body has needs, our human has needs, we're psychologically sensitive, we're emotionally sensitive, we're mentally sensitive, we're physically sensitive, we're a soul in a body, we're deeply connected to the divine, we're watching crazy shit go down on Earth. Sound familiar? We're holding a lot in this experience. This show is about holding and understanding and deepening your knowing about how complex this experience is here. That's why you'll hear me say things like, my human doesn't like this, or it's not that I'm trying to further separate it all, but there is very different energies we're feeling in one experience. And the challenge is to not take action from any old energy you're feeling, like to really tune into like, okay, wait a minute, what am I feeling right now? Right. Very, very real example. My incredible production person understands this. It's like before this episode, I was in resistance to like coming on here. It's like a big expansion. I've said this, like, this is expanding me in ways I didn't expect, and it's challenging me. But I'm feeling that, and I have a choice so am I going to show up to this beautiful studio that my production partners have for me and not execute, not show up for them? We're co-creating this, right? I have to do my part. So even though I'm feeling that resistance, I'm feeling shitty, I'm annoyed that I feel this way. That's a lot of what I feel is I'm annoyed that I feel this way. I'm annoyed this is a challenge for me in this life. I'm annoyed this is a lesson for me. And I still am here with you right now, recording this. I showed up and I did it. That was a choice point. The other choice would be to just not do it. So I'm trying to offer to you to be more present with your energy throughout the day, to notice how you make choices from how you feel in any given moment. But how you feel in any given moment does not mean you should make choices from that energy. There's something to look at there. There's practices you can take on. So I'm going to offer some to you right now. I'm going to give you as many practices as I can for how to work with your energy on a daily basis so you can make choices from the true part of you, from what you truly desire, and create from there and do from there. First, tune into your body. I would put your hand on your heart or put your hand somewhere. Put it even on your solar plexus, where your inner power source is, where your inner sun is. And just close your eyes and notice what's happening there. If it feels empty, that's one thing. If it feels lit up, cool. If it feels like you need to light it up, turn it on, light the spark, do it, do something. Snap your fingers, turn it on, flip the light switch. We have to make these things come alive. It can't just be in my head, turning on the light. Do something to make it physically come alive. You have this physical body for a reason. Turn the light on. Talk to yourself. It's fine. It's fine. Another practice is to call all your energy back to you. Put your hands up, both hands, and say, I call all of my soul fragments back to me now. Any and all persons or energies that are siphoning my energy, you are commanded to send my energy back to me now. I feel my energy coming back to me right now through my hands, we have chakras in our hands. Sit there. 2 minutes. 120 seconds. You got that. Sit there and let the energy come back. Breathe as it comes back. And you can even say to yourself, I receive my energy fully back into my physical body now. I call all of my energy back into my physical body now. I receive it all back into my physical body now. And just sit and receive your energy back. What you're going to notice in that moment is, or as that happens, is you're going to notice your energy tank gets filled. It was empty, depleted, gets filled. It's like it was drained out from the tub. Now the tub's getting filled. That's the best metaphor I can give you. That's what you'll notice. Even right now, I feel so good from doing that. I swear, what was that, like 5 seconds? And I already feel lit up again. The nefarious energies don't want us to know this stuff. They want you to be depleted, numbed out, and distracted so you live in fear for the rest of this lifetime. You want that? You think you're not more powerful than those forces? Those forces ain't got shit on you. So I'm teaching you tools because your energy is sovereign, by the way. Your energy is sovereignly coded in your body and in your energetic field. That's about, depending on the person, 3 to 10 feet around them. That is sovereign to you. You own that energy. You own your energy. You are the sovereign owner of your soul, your energy, and your body, and nothing, unless you give it permission or give it away, can take it or touch it. So call it back and protect it. You must protect your energy like it is gold, because it is. Your energy is the source of whatever you will experience in this life physically. Money, houses, relationships, all the physical material blessings comes from your precious energy source. You must treat it like a pot of gold, because it is. And every day when you wake up and every day when you go to sleep, you will have used the energy that you had that day. And then you have to fill it back up. You have to fill your cup back up. And so the last practice I want to give you is to create a practice where you're actually filling your cup back up. Now, this could be from a physical act. This could be from making yourself a cup of tea and sitting with yourself, maybe in nature, maybe in the sun, maybe at dusk, and filling back up. I like to do this at the end of the day. I love to do this at the end of my day, because the end of our day, of course, we're depleted likely. We've done a lot. We've used up a lot of our energy, and it must get filled back up, particularly before bed, so that we don't wake up the next day like, oh God, like you will notice you'll wake up totally different if you fill your energy cup back up. So practices, make yourself a cup of tea or some kind of warm beverage. Our body likes warm beverages. It makes us feel the warmth within ourselves. It makes us feel safe. Everything's about safety. Lay down and stretch. Play. Do something playful that brings you back to the highest frequency, which is joy. Joy is the highest frequency we can feel. Because love is an umbrella, but joy is like, yay! There's nothing better. So do something that fills your cup back up. A lot of it can just be sitting with yourself. But this is the key. It is all an energy game here. And it is all the process of this, working with our energy, simply is about working with how much we're putting out and filling ourselves back up. How much we're putting out of our energy and filling ourselves back up with our energy. So I hope today you learned a lot about your internal energy and how to become your own sun, to source from your own internal sun, to be your own power source. And my prayer is that everything in your life just gets amplified with more love and joy and satisfaction and abundance, because you have sourced first from within. Thank you so much for listening to Mic Drop Sundrip. Join the community at houseoflow.co/micdropsundrip. And remember, without truth, there can be no light. And without light, there can be no power.